Now at 6 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, the Victoria ISD Board continues interviews for a new superintendent position.
And the Victoria County Republican chairman warns of the importance of respecting political signs.
And late news, the longshoremen strike may be ending very soon.
Another sunny day, but that tropical moisture is beginning to get closer to us. You see it right about there. It's going to be coming in and giving us a chance at some shower activity over the weekend. We'll talk about that coming up in a moment.
And our game of the week here in week 6 between the Tidehaven Tigers and the Industrial Cobras. I'll highlight both of these teams coming up in sports.
You're watching 25 News now at 6. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Don Brubaker.
And I'm Shawna Currie. A 12-year-old Victoria student is in the Juvenile Detention Center tonight after making a threat at school. The male student at STEM Middle School was arrested around 1 o'clock this afternoon for a false report with intent to induce emergency response. Another student reported to an assistant principal that the arrested student had made a threat to, quote, cause harm to the school. 2 other students also overheard the threat. The student will remain in custody until further proceedings by the court and juvenile probation are scheduled.
Wednesday, Calhoun County ISD received a report of a possible school threat posted to social media. After an investigation, the threat was found to be non-credible and an arrest of a student was made. Students reported the threat to school administration and law enforcement.
2 juveniles lead Victoria Police on a chase through Riverside Park. This happened around 2:35 this morning when an officer tried to stop a driver on West Red River Street, but the driver didn't stop. After a short chase into Riverside Park, police say the driver did stop, and then the driver and passengers tried to run. Officers were able to detain 2 juveniles. A city official said a fence at Low Field in Riverside Park was damaged by the driver during that chase. Now, the city of Victoria does have a curfew for minors. Anyone under the age of 17 is breaking the law if they're in a public place or commercial establishment between midnight and 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, or between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. on weekends. Riverside Park is also closed daily from 11 p.m. to 6 a.m.
A 25-year-old man was arrested on harassment charges in Calhoun County Wednesday. Blake Lawrence also faces an harassment of a public service charge from Hidalgo County. 2 of the charges are violations of probation. He is in the Calhoun County Jail in lieu of $122,500 bond.
The Victoria ISD Board of Trustees is in day 2 of interviews for the district's new superintendent. The interviews started last night. The board will interview a total of 8 candidates who were selected from a pool of more than 50 applicants. By law, the district cannot share any specific details, including who those candidates are. The search is necessary after former superintendent Dr. Quentin Shepard accepted a role in the Austin area. The board used feedback from a community survey earlier this year to zero in on the qualities that people want to see in the next superintendent and to help them pick the candidates. The pool of 8 will be narrowed down for a second round of interviews, and a lone finalist is expected to be named later this month. The Victoria ISD Education Foundation Grant Patrol surprised 4 teachers this morning with financial gifts to help them improve learning and engagement on campus. Those teachers are at the VISD Success Academy, Torres Elementary, STEM Middle School, and the Early Childhood Education Center at FW Gross. 2 educators at the VISD Success Academy celebrated their win in the front office foyer. They plan to use their $10,000 award on a school store where students will they'll learn how to make t-shirts and then sell them in exchange for campus currency.
Our students weren't successful in the traditional school environment, so they don't have all the things that you would have at East and West, and we wanted to give them a little bit more inspiration in coming to school and finishing their degrees.
But with this grant money, it's going to take the abilities that we're able to do with these kids at a much higher level than we ever could have hoped for.
Teachers at Shawna Elementary School, Victoria East High School, and K Middle School each received a $500 award despite not being chosen as finalists. You can learn more about these grants at our website, crossroadstoday.com. DeWitt County Commissioners voted to put in a burn ban starting at midnight Friday. Outdoor burning in the unincorporated area of DeWitt County is banned if it would create a public safety hazard. A person who violates this order commits a misdemeanor, punishable by a fine up to $500.
Well, we might see a little bit of rain here over the next couple days, but definitely not enough to get us out of that burn ban situation. So with our forecast, here is First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez.
Yeah, the burn ban is on, and that's important. What we get this weekend probably not going to be enough to make a dent in that, and because we've been so dry for so long. Now, the tropical moisture is beginning to move toward the coast. You can see it right about there. It's maybe 200 miles off our coast, and that is the tropical moisture that's going to come into the coastal bend and give us a few isolated showers over the weekend. How much and where? We'll talk about that coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you.
Mac, thank you. Jackson County workers are helping Hurricane Helene victims in Georgia. 16 Jackson Electric Cooperative linemen are in Shawnee to help with storm restoration. Through 7 days of work, they have restored over 50% of the outages. 175 line crews are working in the southern portion of Georgia, and 70 are working in the northern part. Officials say the southern portion received extensive damage. FEMA announced that the deadline to apply for help after Hurricane Beryl is next Thursday, October 10th. That's also the deadline to apply for a Small Business Administration disaster loan in Matagorda, Wharton, and Jackson counties. FEMA assistance is limited to basic needs, but aid may be available for personal property that was uninsured or underinsured at the time of the storm. FEMA has already approved more than $751 million in relief across Texas.
Well, a sign the election is getting closer, those political signs popping up around the area. Victoria Republican Party Chairman Bill Posey is helping to put out signs around the area. He says plenty of time, effort, and money goes into those political signs. Regardless of your political stance, damaging or stealing political signs is disrespectful and against the law. Posey says everyone needs to respect others' property and beliefs. Stealing or vandalizing a political campaign sign is a Class C misdemeanor.
I know I would never allow any of my people to do that if I knew it, right? And I would hope, I've never had a problem with the opposition doing the same thing. I would never touch anybody's sign from the Democratic Party. No, it's counterproductive. Let people have a say.
If you do see a political sign damaged or taken down, you can report it to local law enforcement. By the way, the last day to register to vote is this coming Monday, October 7th. Election day is Tuesday, November 5th.
Memorial Medical Center in Port Lavaca has a new CEO. The Port Lavaca Wave reports Aaron Clevenger was named by the center's Board of Managers Tuesday. Clevenger served as interim CEO since April. Clevenger worked at Memorial Medical Center for more than 24 years. She started her career as a registered nurse in the medical surgical department at MMC. The union for 45,000 U.S. dock workers agreed to suspend the strike until January 15th to provide time to negotiate a new contract. U.S. ports from Maine to Texas are closed due to the strike by the union. The International Longshoremen's Association is demanding higher wages and a total ban on the automation of cranes, gates, and trucks that are used in the loading or unloading of freight at 36 U.S. ports. Those ports handle roughly half of the nation's cargo from ships.
So because of these latest developments, we did tweak our viewer poll just a little bit, but here is our viewer poll tonight. Do you think that a deal will be reached with the dock workers by January 15th now? Yes or no? 71% of you do believe that giving them another few months will allow them time to come to an agreement and work this all out, but we want to continue hearing from you. Go to crossroadstoday.com/vote to participate, and we'll have the latest results on 25 News Now at 10.
Country music star Garth Brooks is accused of sexual assault and battery from a woman who says she worked as a hairstylist and makeup artist for the singer. The woman, known only as Jane Rowe, says that the reported incidents occurred in 2019 and include an allegation of rape. She says that rape occurred during a work trip with Brooks in L.A., where he was taping a Grammy performance. Before being identified in Thursday's filing, Brooks filed a complaint against the woman using the name John Doe, in which he tried to block the woman from going public with her allegations. He has fiercely denied her claims.
Well, animal welfare advocates will plead with Texas lawmakers to help cities control stray pet populations. You can read the full Texas Tribune article by visiting our website, crossroadstoday.com.
And here are some of the top headlines you can read in the Victoria Advocate. The City of Victoria accepts applications for its Citizens Academy, and Victoria City Council awards a $7.3 million construction project to a local company. You can read these stories and more at victoriaadvocate.com.
And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. All you have to do is hit the like button and click the notification bell, and then you'll be able to receive alerts whenever we upload new video or new stories for you to watch. So stay with us. Coming up on 25 News Now at 6, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton sues TikTok over violations of a state law.
Also ahead, the GOP is preparing thousands of poll watchers for Election Day, but is keeping the training details private. Ken Paxton is suing TikTok for violating the new Texas social media law. The Attorney General argues that the popular short-form video app has not complied with a new state law that seeks to protect children who are active online. The Texas Tribune reports the new law bans social media companies from sharing or selling a minor's personal information unless a parent or guardian approves. The law partially went into effect September 1st.
The GOP is training thousands of poll watchers ahead of Election Day, but it's not making the details of the training public.
Yes, a Protect the Vote event in Wisconsin this week is one of many training sessions around the country.
Less than 5 weeks out from Election Day.
You guys are going to go through a training.
The Republican National Committee and Trump campaign in Franklin Wednesday, training about 24 volunteers to become poll watchers.
I want to protect the vote from the last time we had the election, and I believe it was wrong, and I want to make sure that we can get the right amount of ballots in the boxes that are supposed to be where they're supposed to be.
12 News got an invite to Wednesday's event at the Franklin Library, but we were not allowed inside the private room to observe the actual training. RNC officials not doing interviews about it either, and they did not give a specific reason why we had to leave. just saying a key part of their training includes encouraging poll watchers to report what they deem as suspicious to a staff of RNC lawyers.
Not trying to create disruptions around the election at all. What they're trying to do is be part of the process.
Republican State Senator Julian Bradley spoke at the event, but would not share any details about the training either. Bradley did say this isn't about voter intimidation.
Anybody that's trying to intimidate a clerk or bring violence at the polls, they should go to jail. That's not part of this process. The process has to be open. It has to be transparent. It has to be easy to vote and hard to cheat, period.
The head of Milwaukee's election commission telling Upfront recently her agency is prepping for an influx of poll watchers.
We really appreciate having them, but the reality is if they disrupt the process, they will be removed. And so we take that very seriously, that everyone has the right to vote without disruption.
A Tennessee factory is now under investigation after 11 workers were swept away in flooding brought on by Hurricane Helene. 5 of those were rescued, 2 are confirmed dead. Some employees of Impact Plastics said they were not allowed to leave in time to avoid the storm's impact. Company officials say they will fully cooperate with an investigation, and they're currently conducting an internal review as well.
Well, quite a bit of sunshine again today. We continue with this late summer-like fall. 91 degrees right about now. Our high got up to 93 today. We're still running above our seasonal average, and we're going to stay above the 88s. Now, the question is, will that tropical moisture give us some shower activity this weekend? We'll talk about that coming up in a moment. Well, it's October and everything, and people are putting up their fall decorations and getting their costumes for Halloween, but wow, we're still in the upper 90s. Hasn't really changed much. Now, the big question was, what about that tropical moisture? Well, you can see it right about here. It's off the coast. It is getting closer and closer, and will be rolling into the crossroads over the weekend. Now, this is not a huge deal. The best news I have is that it did not become a tropical system. Okay, that's good. Secondly, there is the possibility we may get some shower activity, and we need a little bit of moisture. Now, I know it's the weekend, there's a lot of events, and I don't think that what we're going to get this weekend is going to affect any of that. Here's the broad area of low pressure. It's kind of elongated now, and it is drifting northbound. Already some clouds in East Texas, and we'll be seeing some of that arrive tomorrow, which is your Friday. We are still, however, staying on the warm side of things. 94 the forecast high, and we're looking at 90s all over the state. In fact, from Texas all the way to the west coast, they're in high and dry is basically where they're at. It is just extremely warm, and everything is above normal in terms of temperature. But that tropical system has a very interesting development in the 7-day outlook, and we'll show you that in a second. 30% chance that it could become a tropical storm, so it's beginning to weaken even further in the short term. But then in the longer term, it's going to be an interesting development. So That's one system. Here's another one that's producing rain over Cuba and out over the Atlantic. We have some roaring hurricanes. This is Kirk. Kirk is going to get up to a 4. It's maybe touching 5, but then it's going to weaken as it moves up into the cooler waters of the North Atlantic. This is Tropical Storm Leslie, which will be following almost exactly the path of the previous storm. We, of course, are concerned how much rain will we get. Well, here's Future Tracker, and we're going to go look at the future. And we go into Saturday and on into Sunday and all the way into Monday. And you can see that we've got little streaks. So 1 or 2 little showers popping up, and you'll see most of it down toward the coast. If you're west of Victoria, probably not going to see as much, but we will at least see a cloud or 2 over the weekend. It'll knock the temperature down. Well, not really. But let's do the long-term view. This is 7 to 10 days out. Notice all the moisture getting close to our area, spinning around. Now down here off the coast of northern Mexico, you're going to see a swirl. See that swirl right there? Well, watch what happens. That's, let's see, what day is that? That is Saturday, Sunday. And then Monday, it starts to swirl, and then it starts to roll, and it's going to roll northeast into where? Florida, with more rain for Florida. But because we're on the backside of this system, we're going to induce that north wind, and we're going to dry up very quickly on Monday. And then it looks like it will be a tropical system headed to the northeast. So Florida is just going to get it again. Lots of sunshine, but more clouds tomorrow, getting up to about 89 down on the coast, up to 92 with a few more clouds around our area on Cuero. Here in the city, we're looking at about 92 to 94. Isolated, very 20%. Best chances Saturday, you'll be fine at Tejas Fest. Sunday, a little less, and then it dries up. By Monday, we're starting back to get very clear air and very sunny skies. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that, but Crossroads today on your phone. Here's Shawna.
All right, thanks a lot, Mac. We sure could use some rain, but we'll take the sunshine too. Well, it's Thursday, so Max, we know what that means in sports.
Yes, we do, Shawna. That means Athlete of the Week. And this time this week, we got a big-time athlete that's going to be selected. I'll let you know who that is coming up in sports. All right, your Athlete of the Week is one of the guys responsible for leading his school to their first district win in years. Who will that be? We talked about him yesterday. It is Aiden Gardner for Bloomington. So it's only fitting we select him for your Athlete of the Week. Bloomington had a victory over the Danbury Panthers, and the Gardner finished up with 2 touchdowns, leading his team in rushing yards with 169 and 14 carries. And this performance was beyond good enough for the Panthers to win. The final score ended up being 28-0. And again, just later down in his football career.
Oh, great. You know, I'm just helping my team out, but it was really because of our blockers. My favorite part is about the Yeah, we still got a whole bunch of years left. We're very young. I'm excited for the rest of my years and season because, you know, we got a great team here, and some of us still have 3 years, 2 years.
Make sure to check out Aiding and the Bobcats tomorrow night at Flatonia. Kickoff will be at 7:30 p.m. And now, obviously, good luck there for Aiden and the Bobcats. But another game that we're looking at is our game of the week. That is going to be here in week 6. That'll be between the Tidehaven Tigers and the Industrial Cobras. This game is big district game for both teams. And Tidehaven, they're looking to get back on the win track. They won last week, but they're trying to get back-to-back wins. And Cale Russell knows this is a big-time game for them to get in the momentum into district play. And for Industrial, they've not won a game yet this year. And they're heading in after this bye week looking for a big-time win in district play. And one of the players to keep an eye on for Industrial is running back Cooper Martin, and they run their offense a lot on his shoulders. So we'll see how he does going into this game tomorrow night. Now, everyone here, we're going to mention here our viewer poll. I asked again who will be the winner of this game between Tidehaven and Industrial here. And a lot of people are picking Industrial to win their first game here of the season. It's about 62, 63%, and about 38 or so for Tidehaven there. So we'll see what happens here going in tomorrow. And finally tonight in the WNBA, the playoffs are going on right now, but the league announced today that Indiana Fever guard Caitlin Clark won the 2024 WNBA Rookie of the Year. Clark received 66 out of 67 votes from a national panel of sports writers and broadcasters. Clark is the third player in franchise history to receive WNBA Rookie of the Year honors, joining Aaliyah Boston and Tamika Catchings back there for the only other two. Clark said to the media, "I'm incredibly honored to be named Rookie of the Year, but more than that, I am grateful to everyone that supported me throughout this past season." That's going to do it here in sports. Don and Shawna, back to you.
Thank you, Max, and we're back in a moment. Hey, you've just finished dinner. It's almost time for pie. Fort Riley, Kansas is preparing for its 38th annual Apple Festival. Finally tonight, if you finished dinner, it's time for pie. Fort Riley, Kansas is getting ready for its 38th annual Apple Festival. The tradition dates back to when General Custer was at Fort Riley. His wife would pick apples and make pies. How'd that turn out? More than 100 volunteers are making more than 1,000 apple pies. The Apple Festival is Saturday. To get on base, you'll need to get a pass at the Visitor Center. You know, I really feel the Army shouldn't be doing an Apple Festival. It should be the Marine Corps.
Oh, I thought it would be more of a custard pie.
Oh, Custer. Well, are you going to make a last stand for that?
Oh, yes. Let's see how we do. Oh, my back.
Are we going to have good apple pie eating weather the next few days?
It's always good apple pie eating weather. No, the weekend is still good, folks. It's just that you're going to feel a little bit more humidity, and we do have a shot at getting a few little showers. Now, I don't think it's going to be enough to mess anything up, but if you see a little rain, I mean, take a picture of it. It's been so long, you know, and beyond Friday, Sunday, we see less. And then after that, Monday, it's just clear and dry and still on the warm side because we have no major real cold fronts coming in just yet. So we'll watch for the shower activity over the weekend.
Now, Saturday, Shawna's emceeing the Alzheimer's Walk that morning at Riverside Park, and then we've got Tejas Fest in the evening. We're going to be fine on both.
In the morning, absolutely no problems. You're going to have a great time. In the afternoon, we're going to see a couple of little showers, but I think most of the activity will be down toward the coast. So look out Calhoun County and Matagorda as well.
No reason to stay away from downtown Saturday.
Absolutely, no. Have a great time.
That's right. Thank you, Mac, and thanks for joining us.
Join us back here tonight for 25 News Now at 10.